Welcome to the Ready to Roll Bodyweight Mobility Edition number 1. Now for this one, you don't need any equipment. I just suggest a yoga mat or just something comfortable on the floor that you can move around on just for your own comfort. So we're going to start by sitting on our bum, feet just outside your shoulder width, your hip width apart. And from there, we're going to lean back on your hands. This is level 1. And we're just simply going to drop our knees side to side. Just like this. Trying to keep your bum flat the whole time, but you'll find that it probably will want to rise up a little bit. Now to increase the intensity on this one, we're going to try and keep this knee on the ground as we open the other one up and try to actively get it as far as we can before we allow the other one to come up off the ground. Same thing the other way, trying to actively open the legs as much as possible. Now, if you're finding this too easy, the next step is to not use hands. So we're going to move through it like this, making sure our bum is going to want to walk forward on each rep. So we really want to make sure as I come through, I'm pushing my butt back down. That's it. We're going to do a couple more of this variety here. Now, if you want to make this harder still, what we're going to do is we're going to come up. We're going to squeeze our hips at the top. When I sit down, I'm going to sit down with my back butt cheek first. So I'm rotating that way, switching sides, pushing up, coming through, sitting back down with this butt cheek first. You'll notice it doesn't actually happen, but that's the goal, is to be sitting down with that bum cheek first. So 2 more of those. If these are too intense for you, of course you can go back to a level that's more suitable to where you're at the moment. Now we're going to move into our half kneeling hip flexor and hamstring stretch. So we're going to be in this half kneeling position here. If you're not too flexible through your hamstrings, you can get some yoga blocks to pop them under your hands here. We're going to come forward, really trying to open the hips up here. You can sit up if you like, or you can keep your hands down. From here, we're going to try and keep the chest on the legs, coming back, stretching that front leg hamstring. Coming forward, push through. If you want to open up, and then back down, chest on leg, coming back through. Now we're going to do 5 more of these at whatever level is suitable to you. And remember, to make this a little easier, pop some yoga blocks under your hands here at the front and it will make it just that little bit easier. 2 to go. 1, and last 1, 2. Okay, changing sides. Pushing forward, coming up if you wish. Hands down, stretch that hamstring. Just going to move my microphone. So keep going, we're doing 8 in total. Personally, I prefer to keep my hands and my chest down throughout, but it's up to you what you do prefer. We just want to make sure we're hitting that front leg hamstring when we come back and that back leg's hip flexor, which is at the front of the hip there as we're going forward. Now we're going to add in some rotation here. So we're going to come forward as far as you can on one side. One hand goes on the ground. From there, we're going to rotate, trying to open that thoracic as much as we can. Then we're going to come down, trying to touch the ground. I'll twist around this way a little bit so you can see. Trying to touch the ground with my elbow, and then I'm coming up, rotating. We're going to do 3 more on this side. Trying to keep those hips low. Last one. Nice, now we're going to change sides. So I'm coming forward, hand is on the ground, I'm rotating around, coming back down, elbow down. If you can't reach your elbow to the floor, don't stress, it will come. Just do what you can and as low as you can go currently. 2 more. 1, and last 1. And 2. Nice. All right, we're going to move into our Cossack lunges. Now, if you cannot yet do a Cossack, you can do this next to a wall or something that you can support yourself with. You can use a small counterweight if you wish as well. You can also just not go quite as low. So just do whatever level you're up to. So it might look like this, and that's okay. Now you can keep your feet flat like this as we move side to side, or you can open them up and have the toes pointing towards the ceiling. It will change the stretch slightly, so experiment with which you prefer. I'm going to do 2 more on each side, 1 more. Last one. Now, we're going to keep our legs wide and we're going into a standing pancake. So from the side here, what this looks like, I'm hinging at the hips, trying to keep my chest proud and my back straight for as long as possible, and I'm reaching for the floor. It might be that you're reaching with your hands, your elbows, or your head. Whichever it is, make sure it's appropriate for your current level. And we're just going to do these small pulses here. 3 more. 2, 1. Beautiful. Now, we're going to be standing in a pike, so that means our feet are together, our knees are straight. We're going to be rolling over as far as we can. You can have your arms loose or you can grab them, and we're just going to be swaying from side to side, feeling that stretch all up through your side of your back, your glutes and your hamstrings, and just gently side to side swaying around. Couple more. And then rolling back up. Now the next one we're going to do is a body roll. So you might know it as a spinal wave. So from the side, there's a couple of different options we can do. We're going to stick our forehead out, going to our chin, chest, rolling through, finishing with your pelvis as you come back forward. So this one, we're really trying to get some movement happening through the spine. So think about moving your spine as much as you can. You can have soft knees as you come through to allow that to happen. Now we're going to try and go backwards. So hips first, coming up, and then rounding. Squeeze that butt on the way through, and then rounding. This is one of those movements that you get some looks for if you're doing it in a commercial gym. All right, beautiful. Now we're going to stretch out that neck a little bit. So I want you to gently grab one side of your head and pulling it down to your shoulder. Now you can change the angle on this depending on where you're most sore through your traps. It might be like more lower traps than upper traps. So find the angle that works for you. And we're just going to gently pull down and stretch on that angle. We're going to add in some PNF stretching. So that means we're going to push our head up against our hand for 5 seconds. And then we're going to relax the head and pull back down with our hand, okay? So I've found my end range here. I'm pulling up with my head against my hand. 3, 2, 1. Now I'm going to relax my neck and allow my hand to gently pull my head down further into that stretch. So we're going to do that 2 more times. So we're going to push against our head in 3, 2, 1. Pushing, creating some tension. This doesn't have to be a crazy amount of tension, just enough that you can feel it, and then relax. Pulling further into that stretch. You're welcome to change angles a little bit if you find that there's another part that's a bit more tight. So we're going to push into our head 1 more time. Pushing, holding, 3, 2, 1, and then relaxing into that stretch. Beautiful. Changing sides. So you might find that it's the same angle on both sides. If it's not, it doesn't matter. Find where you're most tight and we'll target that first. You can go through this, if you want to do more of this, hit pause, go through a few different angles of your neck, and we can come back later. So we're going to push up against our hand, 5 seconds, 3, 2, 1, relax the head, pull further into that stretch. Change the angle if you want, we've got 2 to go. Okay, we're going to push up against the hand, holding, 3, 2, 1, relaxing, pulling further into that stretch. Last one. I'm going to push up against the hand. 3, 2, 1. Relax the neck. Pull further into that stretch. Another thing you can do while performing those stretches is you can hold a little weight in your hand. So I can hold a little weight in this hand, stretch on this side, and you'll just get that little bit extra assistance to find more range. All right, we are We've got about 5 exercises to go. So sitting back down on our mats, our hands are behind us here. Now, depending on the health of your wrists, you may want to turn them out or backwards. That's totally fine. Whatever is more comfortable to you. We're going to come up onto our feet here into this tabletop position. We're going to sway forward, stretching out the shoulders, and then coming back. Pushing forward. You might also get a bit of a toe stretch, as well as your quads in this one. So forward, we're going to do 3 more. 2. 1 more. Beautiful. Now, if you want to do a few more of those, if you feel like that wasn't quite enough, again, hit pause and go for it. Now, we've got a shoulder extension here. So we're going to have our hands behind us. Try to get your pinkies to touch if possible. If not, that's okay. We're going to slowly walk our bum forward as far as we can. We're going to sit in this position for 10 seconds. Knees are bent, feeling that stretch through your shoulders, maybe your pecs, maybe your elbows. From here, we're going to pull our knees into our chest. Now we're going to straighten our legs. We're going to hold this position for 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1, and then relax. This time we're going to go into some leg raises. We're going to straighten our legs, then move into leg raises. So straightening the legs, then we're going to come down, trying not to touch the ground, coming back up as close to your face as you can. Hold for 2 seconds, 2, and then back down. Trying to keep those knees straight, keep those shoulders extended, holding 1, 2, and back down. We've got 2 to go. Holding 1, 2, squeeze those quads, keeps those knees nice and straight. Last one. Holding 1, 2, bend the knees, and very slowly walk your arms out of that position. It can be quite intense through the elbows if you've got tight forearms or biceps, also through the shoulders, but it is a great position for stretching those out. Now we're going into some wrist work. So, excuse me. As a jiu-jitsu practitioner, if you train a lot of gi, you may find that you do get quite built up through your forearms and you get sore wrists. So we're just going to do some really gentle wrist preparation, just trying to get a bit of blood flow. So all I'm doing here is what I would call feeling the floor. So I'm just thinking about mobilizing all those little bones throughout my hands, different directions, different angles. On the backs of your hands as well, some little gentle sways, and just trying to really get some of that movement through your wrists. Okay, we're going to go into some first finger push-ups. So hands are parallel to each other like this. My pointer fingers are parallel with each other. As I go forward, I don't want my butt sticking out like this. I want to have it tucked under. I'm going to push my shoulders forward of my wrists, and from here, I'm going to do some little push-ups. My fingers are staying flat on the ground, my thumbs aren't doing any work. Now, if this is too intense, you can come back a little bit and work your way up. They also might look like this rather than like this, and that's fine. We're just going up to the range that works best for you. I'm going to do 5 more. 2, 3, 4, 5. Nice work. Now we're going to finish off with some fin push-ups. So we're popping your hands flat on the ground like this. Knees are back, and we're aiming to get the elbows down and then doing a push-up off the backs of your wrists. So coming down, pushing up. So from the side and pushing up. Do 5 more of these. 2, 3, 4. Last one. Nice work. Coming out of it, give those wrists a little shake out. That can be quite intense sometimes. It's important that we are challenging our mobility and our current range without injuring ourselves. So we don't want pain, but discomfort is required to make some progress. And the last one we've got is some passive and active cobra. So we're going to lay down on the ground, bring our hands down near our ribs, legs are together, and we're just going to stretch. Think about opening your chest up. Walk the hands back, looking to the sky, and try to push the shoulders away from the ears so the chest is proud. You might feel a stretch through your abs, through your shoulders, through your hip flexors. And then from here, we're going to lay back down. So our last active cobra, trying to squeeze all of your back muscles, your bum, your hamstrings, and everything. So we're going to sweep our hands behind us, squeeze everything and hold for 5 seconds. And relax. Nice work, everyone. I hope you're feeling nice and mobile and limber, and you're ready to get stuck into your jiu-jitsu.